Hey everybody, how we doing? Thanks for joining us today. This is awesome to see everybody on here. I appreciate it. As you guys know, huge stuff we're releasing today. Super excited. I have Jay with me here today to be able to help out a little bit. How we doing, Jay?
Excellent. Thanks for having me. It's great, to kind of be able to do this on both channels like this. So for those of you who don't know, Chris is live on the Anywhere POD channel, and I'm live on my own channel. So
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, real quick before we get into it, I just want to do a quick little introduction here, since we're kind of, as Jay was saying, mixing channels a little bit, but don't want to spend too long on that stuff because I know that's you're not here just to hear us talk. We got cool stuff to show you. So, Chris Meets, founder of Anywhere POD. I've been in the POD space since about 2016. Various companies throughout the years, kind of helping merchants from the beginning automate personalization. So that kind of is what's led to Anywhere POD. So for those that don't know, Jay, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jay. I'm the founder of Jay's Way, and I've about a year in now with my inner circle. So it's a membership group where I teach people how to actually make designs that sell because counterintuitively, people think that it's always SEO and stuff, but I put the emphasis on the actual design itself because that's ultimately the most important. I came from a corporate background, started I jumped ship because it was toxic, and the typical story there. I know I'm not alone. There's a ton of you out there. Been on Etsy since 2012, going into 2013, doing POD for just as long. So, been a long haul. I've seen direct to garment. I've seen POD evolve, and yeah, just happy to be co-hosting here and with the live exclusive on my channel. So thanks so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Awesome. You bet. Thanks for jumping on and helping out. So before I get into it, real quick, I don't want to spend too long kind of on overview of Anywhere POD because I assume most of the people on have heard of us before. But we are a print-on-demand personalization and automation tool. So we help automate, just have a whole suite of features that help you automate, list faster, list easier without all of the manual tasks of creating artwork and finding tags and doing group listings, kind of the whole gamut across the board. We have just a suite of features that help across the board. Kind of our flagship feature set is personalization, which is what we're going to be talking about today on Etsy. So we help automate whether it's text or images or clip art or applying AI filters to images is a new feature that we released last week that if you haven't seen that yet, that in combination with what we're releasing today, home run for Q4. So super excited about it. So what we're talking about today, this is Etsy specific feature. I know we have several people that are on Shopify as well. If you're only on Shopify, this might be a good time or excuse to branch out to Etsy because I think this is really going to kind of help bring some of the similarities that you're used to on the Shopify side, kind of bringing that to Etsy as well. So give me a 1 in the chat if you have ever, for Etsy, created a product that includes a file upload, or you wanted to create a product that had a file upload, but you didn't want to have to deal with all of the back and forth with send me a Etsy message or send me an email with the photo, or Etsy message then compresses the image and all that fun stuff. 1, lots of ones. Awesome. So
yeah, not awesome that you went through the toil of all that, but awesome for how Chris is about to change the game.
Yes, absolutely. So that has always been a pain point and something that I've been wanting to solve for a while because it's not good. It's not a good customer experience, number one, right? Like them finding Etsy messages or sending an email to Gmail, like it's just a little odd, right? So we've come up with a solution now that not only for photo images, or photo products, other products I think will fall in this as well, especially when you get into some more, clip art options. You got lots of different text fields, lots of different clip art fields. And collecting all of that in one single text field is a real pain, ends up costing lots of customer service back and forth. Not something you want to deal with during Q4, where hopefully you're dealing with enough orders, right, and enough things to deal with that you don't need to add something else on top of it.
Yeah,
so what
because
we've
as
come
soon
up
as
with,
you add all that stuff on there is when things start to go haywire, or go wrong, right? Especially when you try to rush in that crunch. So I've been there, and I honestly stopped doing personalization with photos because it just takes too much time. It's too much back and forth, and it's a pain in the butt. So
yeah, exactly. And I mean, even if you want to get, I know several people that have hired VAs to try to help with it, but then you don't want to give them access to your Etsy store. That causes issues. But if they're sending the images in Etsy messages, I mean, it's just like headache after headache after headache. So I think we've come up with a solution that is going to completely solve all of this. So what you can do now with AnywherePOD is essentially give your customers a link where they can get a live preview. So they'll see a live demo of anything that they're personalizing, right, before they purchase. So this isn't, you gotta, send them an email and hope they get the email and hope they act on it and hope it doesn't go to their spam and hope and hope and hope. They are actually able to do this ahead of time and complete the purchase on Etsy. So you're still staying inside of all of Etsy's guidelines, which is very important. You're able to collect all of the personalization information from the customer ahead of time. And then the order is able to process. If you want to, you can have it processed automatically, or you can review and approve first if you want to. Jill says, like in Shopify, very, very similar idea. You got it. So it's bringing the power. That was one of the things always that was like so appealing to Shopify, right? Is like on Shopify, you can show an actual live preview on page of everything. Customers able to see everything, no matter how complicated you're getting, you're able to do. If you're doing a photo upload and you need it in a certain shape, which is what I'll show you here in a second, you can do that on Shopify. If you wanted to do that on Etsy before, we made it as easy as possible, but it was still a pain because you still had to do that manual work every single time. No more. So let me just jump into it here. I'll share my screen and we'll walk through a demo. I forgot to warn you guys before I did the demo last week. Right now is the time to go to your kitchen sink down underneath. That's where I keep it anyway. You got to roll a duct tape under there. Go ahead and bring it out, wrap it up. I am not responsible for any explosions that happen. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen here. Share screen. Okay. So here is AnywherePOD. So we're going to go through creating a personalized product. Again, this is going to work across the board on all of the products we have in AnywherePOD. We kind of talk about that throughout. So we're going to come in here. What I'm going to do for our demo right now is going to be a Shine On acrylic plaque. So we're going to come over here to our Shine On products and go to our acrylics. So we're going to do the square acrylic plaque here. So we're going to come in here and go to Start Designing. And once you're in here, so you can either upload artwork as a PNG and set everything up manually, or of course, as many of you know, we have a Canva integration. What's nice with our Canva integration is if you're using Canva frames to have your images in a specific shape, those will import into our cropper tool and be set up for you automatically and really save a lot of setup time. So I'm going to go add from Canva here, and we're going to do this mom design right here. So we'll say import layers. This is going to import all of the layers exactly how I have it designed in Canva, with the letter images already set up, with the personalized text at the bottom, all already set up and ready to go for me. I will need to make a little bit of an adjustment on our kind of image letters, the M, the heart, and the M, because when those import from Canva, you can see Canva doesn't give us the exact portion of the image that was cropped. So we just need to recrop those real quick. So to do that, over here on our images, we're just going to click on one of these and come down here to Open Cropper Tool. And then this will open up the cropper tool where we can just kind of select a portion of the image that we want inside of each one of these. And then they'll be set up then for the customer. When they upload their image, they're going to see this similar cropper tool to be able to customize it to their image specifically.
Wow. So they'll see the same thing on their end, the exact same ability.
Yes, they'll see this. It's the same kind of cropper tool that we have right here. So they'll be able to select what portion of their image they want inside of the M and the different pieces.
Awesome.
Importing this from Canva is so much faster because it's already set up for you. Using the Canva frames, it's already set up. You just have to redo that little crop, and it's already set up. That's true with any of the kind of frames that you have in Canva. So like if you're wanting to do like a photo collage blanket with images in different sizes or rounded corners or any of that type of stuff, you can easily set all that up in Canva and then just import it. It makes it super easy. All right, so then we also want to mark our text here as personalized, and we're all set up and good to go. So let me click on Create Product. So as you guys know, this will create our placeholder artwork with all the images and everything exactly how we had it set up with the text. It'll also generate any mockups that are available from Shine On. Of course, we could change those. So we've got light backgrounds and all that type of stuff. So you will now see on any of your products in AnywherePOD, you will now see the personalization instructions are now available for you to set those in AnywherePOD before you publish over to Etsy. And you'll also see this little tag right above it here telling you to enable a live preview if you want the customer to have a live preview. So we still don't think this is something that you want to set up for every personalized product that you do, right? If you're just doing text and maybe you're just asking for a name or even 2 text fields, like it's still probably going to be easier. Just have the customer type that into the text field. There's not a reason to have them go to a separate page for that. When you start getting more advanced, maybe you're doing more advanced clip art or especially any kind of image uploads. Like I said, this with our AI filters that we released last week, any of that type of stuff, that's where this live preview is really going to come into play. So we just need to turn that on. So to do that, we're going to come up here to enable live preview. For a lot of products, we already have what we call a live preview template already set up. And all we need to do is click on enable live previews. This will create a live preview. Like I said, based on that template that we already have set up. If you want to create your own, like maybe you got something you want to match, a certain aesthetic, a certain niche, a certain mock-up, any of that type of stuff, you can create your own live preview using any images that you want. Actually, the process to create those is very similar to creating your own custom mock-up templates. So if you've used that process, it's very similar to how the kind of live preview process works. If you do run across a product that doesn't have a live preview, you can request for us to add one. We're trying to get through the catalog and get them all added, but products are constantly coming out, and you know, there's always constant changes. So if there's ever one there will be a button that for you to request for that to be added. Okay, so now if I scroll down here, you'll see we have listed down here to add the below URL to your personalization instructions to allow your customers to view a live preview of the personalization settings before purchase. So we have that URL right here. Our goal with this was to have as short of a URL as possible without it looking spammy, right? Like we didn't want one of those like, you know, xzd.io, because that's the type of image of URLs that always come through in a spam message, and we don't, you know, want it to look as legit as possible, but still be completely white labeled, so it's not, you know, coming from any kind of company. So believe it or not, personal.art was actually still available, which is really cool. So wow. We can click this link to see what that live preview is going to look like. We can also click right here to add that to our instructions. Of course, you can change this however you want to match whatever instructions you need for your particular product. So in this case, we're just going to tell the customer to personalize your order, go to this URL, upload your photos, and then come back to Etsy to complete your purchase. When they go to that link, it's going to walk them right through the entire process and automatically take them back to your Etsy listing. So should help, prevent any kind of issues with, them dropping off or anything like that as well. So let me show you a live listing here real quick and what that preview looks like. And then we can catch up on any questions that we have here.
We got a couple in there at least already. So sure.
Okay, cool.
This is awesome.
All right. So here is this product here on the listing live on Etsy. You can see the personalization instructions that we have here. So what we're going to do is copy this URL, and we're going to go to that here. And you'll see right here, we have a live preview. Yes, mobile friendly, all that sort of stuff right here when they go to that URL. So here at the top, enter names. So we'll say Chris, Jay, and John, right? So this is supposed to be like a love, the kids' names. And then here they can upload their images. So as they upload each one of these, you'll see that same image cropper that we had when we were creating that product, where they can select the portion of the image that they want cropped here.
Get out. This is insane. See, as he's typing, it's showing up literally live.
And so is the image. So as you're making changes to the images, it's showing up right there as well.
One of the beautiful things about this is that you are not going to be on the hook for not having set up the customer's image a certain way, or how the customer's taking on full responsibility here. So this is absolutely incredible.
Exactly. And you don't have to go back and forth with proofs, or is the image, did it get compressed when it was sent in an Etsy message? Like all of that, all of those pain points that I spent the first 5 minutes talking about are essentially just gone off the table. You don't need to worry about it. Not only that, but the amount of time, in this case, it's 3 images. You get some blankets, you've got, it's no big deal to have, 8, 9, 10 images on a blanket. Now you got to get all those images from the customer. You got to go upload them. Do they all look right? What layout do they actually want them in? Like all of that is in the customer's hands now.
Yeah. And from experience, that's a 2-hour process of back and forth with proofs for every single image, asking them to correct things. It puts the onus on them to even get the image quality right? You're not doing any editing to this stuff.
Exactly. So once we have this form filled out, we hit next. It is going to go through, say, hey, congratulations. Next step, copy the info below, paste in the personalization box, tells them complete purchase on Etsy. The button here says continue on Etsy. When I click on that, it is, if they forgot to copy that, it's actually going to copy it for them, put it in their clipboard. It's going to take them right back to that Etsy listing. And all you have to do is paste in what came from, was copied on that previous page, add it to their cart, and Bob's your uncle. Everything else from there is 100% automated. That order will come through to AnywherePOD. AnywherePOD is able to read all of this information, get all of the images and the personalization settings that they have set up, and apply that to the artwork, generate the artwork for you. And then depending on how you have it set up, you can either have it go on hold still so you can review and make sure everything looks good, no obvious misspellings before you process the order, or you can have it auto fulfill and just have it go straight to the print provider. Since that's a bit safer to do in something like this, since the customer actually had full control over it and it wasn't just inside of a single text box. So super, super cool.
Awesome. Got a pile of questions coming in now. Are you good to take a few?
Awesome. Let's do it. Let's bust them out.
All right. So first one is from Pup Style. Linda, are you planning to connect with Everbee Store? Good question.
Yes, that is an excellent question. And we have been in contact with them. They have some capabilities to integrate now, but we are actually working very closely with them to make the integration as seamless and robust as possible. With our experience of integrating personalization on other platforms, we've actually been working really closely with their dev team. They've been great to work with, and kind of going back and forth and making sure that we get everything, not only in integration, but get it set up so it's as powerful as possible for you and for the customer. So that is something that's coming.
Awesome. Next up is Kristen. She's got a few really good questions here. So first of which is, when you start designing in Canva, do you download the design and then upload to APOD, or is there a button you press in Canva to send it directly over to the APOD listing?
So that's the beauty of our Canva integration, is you don't have to download and upload anything anymore, right? So the whole process of downloading a PNG and what size do I download it in and all of that type of stuff, you don't need to worry about anymore. So if you're not sure what size your design needs to be and you haven't even started creating a design yet, whenever you start a design in AnywherePOD, here in the designer, you will see the button right here that says create new design. This is going to create a blank template for you inside of Canva at the required dimensions for that product. This comes in really handy, especially on blankets, because blankets are too large to actually design in Canva. You have to divide the dimensions by either 2 or 3 or sometimes 4, and then remember to export at the right size. With AnywherePOD, you don't need to worry about that at all. You click on the create new design, you create your design, and then you import it just like I did this design, add from Canva. And you can either import as layers or you can import it as a PNG, or actually a combination of the two. So super, super powerful, saves a lot of extra work on the design side there as well.
Speaking of blankets, Pearly asks, for photo insert designs already posted to Etsy through AnywherePOD, do they need to be updated, like blankets or ornaments?
No. So if you already have designs in AnywherePOD already set up that you want to utilize this process on, it is available on all of your existing AnywherePOD products. All you need to do is go through the process up here of enable live preview, and that will turn it on, and you'll have access then to that link that you can add to your personalization instructions. So you don't have to recreate the product. It works exactly kind of as is. Oh, I think you're muted, Jay.
I'm sorry, I was muted there. Trying not to interrupt all the time, but
No,
Jill,
you're good.
can we add in more than one line for the enter names for a message, etc.?
Oh, absolutely. So anything that you add in AnywherePOD here, any layers that you add or any layers that you import from Canva that you marked as personalized will show up in that live preview. So if you're doing clip art will show up in that live preview as, drop downs or however you have that set up. You can do multiple lines of text. Really, I mean, your options are infinite. You can even change the title that shows. So if you don't want it to just say enter names, you can set your option title here, and that will actually show like with that label. So if you wanted to say, enter kids names or whatever you wanted, you can name that field specifically here as well.
Nice. Next up is Brandon. Do you have the template for MWW woven blankets?
I am pretty sure we have that added for MWW woven blankets. I know we do on some of the other woven blankets from Shine On. I think Printify's are even set up now. So if they're not, actually, I'll find a product here while Jay's pulling up the next question, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when there is not a live preview available. So you guys can see how to request that from support so we can add that for you.
Awesome. Sejal, forgive me if I'm getting the name or mispronouncing, but she's asking, can this work with background croppers and the new image personalization AI feature?
Yes.
Wow.
All the above. So any of the features that are in AnywherePOD, because every time we've added a feature to AnywherePOD, it's been available for Shopify customers as well. The majority of Shopify customers are using live preview setups very similar to this. So all of our functionality, the background remover, the AI features, the AI and upscale functionality, all of that works with this live preview setup.
Crazy. Angie's saying, will this work for cutout face patterns too? I think this is going to be dependent on if you're creating the pattern, right?
Yeah, so we do have that pattern generator in AnywherePOD. We don't have a strictly like face cutout feature where it detects the face. But you can get very, very similar just by having like an oval cropper set up. So if you use the frame in Canva that's like the shape of an oval to like cut out the head, then when the customer uploads their image, they just would crop the head portion and it would apply it to your pattern and be available. So yes, that would work.
Yep, kind of a workaround there. Kristen is asking again, does it give any warnings if the photo isn't high res enough? Great question.
That is a good question. So right now we don't show any warnings if the customer's photo is not high res enough. Kind of for a couple reasons. One is 90+% of the time that's not an issue, because any camera that people are using on their phones or anything else today has about 10 times the quality that you need to print on almost any print on demand product. So that really is very, very rarely an issue. We get the question sometimes as well is, do you tell the customer what size they need to upload? And honestly, once you start doing that, the customer is just going to bail, right? They don't understand pixels. They don't know what resolution is, any of that type of stuff. So, it's usually better to not worry about that. And there's very rarely ever an issue with any of that.
And I mean, we're kind of bypassing the potential issue of Etsy compressing the photos in the convos as well, right? Even if you get one in there that was high enough quality, sometimes it can get lost in translation there. So, I mean, it's almost a non-issue at this point.
Yeah. And if you've been doing personalized images on Etsy up to this point, and you've been getting it out of the Etsy convo, those are compressed. Like Etsy doesn't show push through full size images there. So, and that we haven't even had people really have an issue with. So
kind of a follow-up to this one question from me. Is there a limit to the image file size?
So no, there is no hard limit. If you got over 100, 120 meg, you may have some issues after the order is received, kind of on your side. And we would need to, maybe get involved at that point, but it wouldn't prevent the order from going through. But that is a ginormous image. So even with the high quality images that people take these days, they don't get that high in size. Real quick before we go into the next one. So this is a product that doesn't have a live preview template. And you'll see here, there's just a button instead of enable live preview. There's a button to request for a template to be added. So that is what you would do. It just opens up an email to our support. So you can always just send support a message with a link to the product that you're wanting. And then we can get that created and we'll add those as a template so that it's available for all future products as well. Or as I said, if you want to create your own template, if you have a certain theme or aesthetic or kind of mock-up image you want to go for, you can always create your own templates here as well.
Nice. Linda is asking, will we be able to create a pattern using customer images? I think I already know the answer to this one. And will we be able to personalize the image and have OpenAI modify the image thereafter? Great question.
Yes. So will we be able to create a pattern using customer images? Absolutely. So we have the, let me see, to an image here. This create pattern option here that works with personalized images as well. So you can absolutely do that. On the OpenAI, I think you are referring to the AI filters here that we released last week. And yes, that absolutely works with this live preview setup as well. So you can do all of the cool things that we showed last week with the watercolors and chibi art and all that type of stuff. Have the customer supply that image. They see a preview of what it looks like. The whole 9 yards works along with that.
Crazy. That's incredible. Linda's asking, will sellers see the personalization on Etsy then? So it's kind of on the
right.
website URL.
Well, they won't see it directly on Etsy. So if I come back here, you can see this is still my stock image that is showing here. But when they went to the URL here to add their personalization, they saw the live preview there and saw the changes as they were making them, but Etsy doesn't allow you to have that kind of control or editing to their listings. So they wouldn't see, like, it would still show the default here, but that's going to be pretty acceptable and common on the Etsy side of things. They will have still seen a live preview before they purchased, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Can you do a blanket training one time, eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have several kind of in our vault too of blankets that we've done that are still relevant. It's just this extra step of clicking the enable live preview. So you got one extra button to push that wasn't in. Actually, I take that back. You probably saw that in the training as well, because we would have discussed that with Shopify users too. So if you run into any issues there, always feel free to reach out to our support though. We're more than happy to help get caught up to speed, or if you have ideas of things you'd like to see on future live streams, we're always open to ideas there too. So don't ever hesitate to reach out with ideas or questions. We love them both.
And this is something I've said a few times now, but you'll rarely hear Chris say no, right? So it's just a matter of when and how.
Yeah.
Haley's asking, can this work with any product?
Yeah, pretty much any product. So, there are some limitations on the template where it won't show like a full rendering of something like 3D rendering wrapping around an object or something like that. But you can still show a live preview of the artwork. So we've done that on mugs before, where it kind of shows the mug and then the actual design, like it's the mug, but the design is kind of unwrapped from the mug. So you see the whole design. It makes it pretty clear on what it is without having to worry about that kind of 3D wrapping effect happening on mugs, and works pretty well on those. So yeah, really any product. If you get into something that is a really complicated, I can't think of one right now that I've ran into that's like, there's no solution for that at all. Sometimes, it ends up just kind of being a white background, like metal art, for example. If you're selling metal art, the product kind of is the design because they're cutting it out of a solid sheet of steel. But you can still show a live preview of that. It would just be on a white background. So.
And just skipping ahead, Angie, I'll get back to yours in a second, but this kind of piggybacks on it. So is there a list of products that have live preview? I guess not necessarily, right? Because it almost applies to any product.
Yeah, I mean, you can really, like I said, you can use this pretty much on any product. So we don't have a list that already has the previews added. Most of the, ones that are, it's using the same kind of live preview system that we've been using for a long time now already for Shopify customers. So if a Shopify customer has already asked for it, you guys pretty much already have the benefit of having that available. But if you run across one that doesn't, send it in. Most of the time we can get to those pretty quick. Every once in a while, there may be a day or two delay in getting one of those created. But they're pretty fast to create. They're usually not a ton of work to get those added. So we're happy to, like I said, we're trying to get those for the entire catalog. It just takes some time with the thousands and thousands of products that we have available now. So.
Angie's saying, can we use this with our own products that are not POD? Well, just to clarify, they are still printed on demand. You're just not outsourcing the production, if I got that right.
That is likely the case. And yes, you can. It'll depend a little bit on how you have your product set up. Because we have the capability where you can build a product kind of utilizing a product in our catalog, but then just have it set not to go to fulfillment. So then you can kind of fulfill it yourself. So if there's specific ones you're looking at there or ways that you're setting that up, I would drop a note to support. We can kind of take a closer look to exactly kind of how you are utilizing, the production process of your own products.
Chris is asking, can you show how you get the design back to APOD? I'm not seeing how to drive this home without downloading.
Yeah, that's a quick one here. Let me come back in here we'll just go back to another Shine On acrylic here. So whenever you come into a product and go to start designing, you'll have the option here at the top to add from Canva. So what I did with my personalized one was import layers. That way, all of the layers from Canva imported to AnywherePOD already set up for me. If I'm not doing personalization, or if maybe I need to import the personalized pieces and the non-personalized pieces separately, you can do that too. In which case I'd import as a PNG, and you have that option too. So whether it's personalized or not, you can either do as a PNG or as layers right here.
So from that tiny URL, then it imports right into here directly.
Yeah, so this is on, she was asking on like creating a new product, right? So this is after you have your design created in Canva, and now you're creating the actual product in AnywherePOD, you use this add from Canva option here.
All right, Mike. So that live preview window will show up in Etsy before they purchase the product. It's not in Etsy, right?
Right. So let me jump back over to Etsy so we can make sure we're clear on this. So we're going to add, you will add this URL and whatever instructions you want to. We have this kind of preset instructions in there, but you can change that. So it's going to tell the customer essentially to go to this URL or to copy and paste this URL. And when they copy this and go to it, that is when they are going to get this preview screen to update and add their images and personalization. And then when they hit continue, it's going to take them back to Etsy where they can paste in the personalization information and continue on with the purchase.
Kristen's saying, what about cutting out a shape from a photo or removing the background? Can the customer do that?
Yep, absolutely. And we did one of those here with the cutting out a shape with the mom design here, and the background remover works with this as well.
Sweet. Sajal, what if a customer does not have the technical ability to handle the image cropper tool? I mean, it's a pretty basic tool, right? You're just sliding.
Yeah, I mean, really all they need to do is when they upload their image, they're going to get this here and they just move it around to the portion that they want. So it should be pretty self-explanatory. This is the same cropper tool. Again, everything that is shown in here should be fairly well bulletproof, because like this is new to you, to Etsy users, but all of our Shopify users have been using this exact technology with the cropper tool, with the background remover, the whole 9 yards for quite a while now. So it's not something new where we're still kind of working things out. This is something that's been live and in production for hundreds of users for a while.
And this is also something that you could, for your listing video for that particular one, you could, create a video of you literally adding, just click here, like a step-by-step video, really quick, 5 seconds tops is all it takes. And then showing you moving it around and then zooming in or zooming out, right, to fit. Be pretty basic and easy to do.
For sure. And actually, one of the things that I thought of earlier today as well was creating a mock-up image here, having one of your images actually be a QR code that goes to this personalization URL right here. So they can just scan that and be able to do the personalization that way as well. So that's actually could really help kind of getting them to that page, is having that QR code, I think.
Pearlie asks, before the Canva artwork upload on APOD, we had to download our design with pictures by inserting a transparent square over the picture before downloading it and uploading it to APOD. Need to be changed.
Yeah, so with the Canva integration now, you don't have to do that anymore. So what she's talking about is previously, when you would create a design, I almost even don't want to explain it because
it doesn't matter anymore.
It's so difficult. You had to create a design in Canva, and then you would have all of your images. Canva doesn't let you download a single design, so you had to go through this whole kind of hack and workaround to be able to download a single layer from Canva. You don't need to do that anymore. Just use the import from Canva and you click one button and it's done for you.
Nice to not have to worry about that anymore, for sure. Wendy's asking, since people may not trust the URL, do you think there will be eventually an option to change the name, personalize here to connect to the URL?
I would love to be able to do that. Whether or not Etsy will open that up, I don't know.
That's an Etsy API thing.
Etsy's ball game. So that's why we really kind of tried to pick a URL that had kind of in the name itself had some trust to it, right? It's not just a completely kind of generic URL like you see in text messages and stuff all the time. So I don't really foresee that being an issue. We also, very soon plan to add an option for this where if, maybe the customer didn't figure out the URL, whatever the case may be, that you can still have a URL that you can send them after they purchase. So for some reason they got through the purchase process and didn't kind of use the link, you still have a link that's tied to your order that you can send them to be able to upload their images and everything after the fact if needed.
Yeah, in that order confirmation email too that they get, you can customize that, right? So you can send that link in that email, and it will be an active link if it's in the email usually.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So we do plan to add some more options for that in the future. I don't foresee that being a huge issue, but this is new, so that portion of it is new. So we'll just need to see.
Another great question here. Are you 100% sure that this is fully safe with Etsy rules and that they wouldn't ban our stores for taking a customer away from Etsy? So I know Etsy's stance on this is that you are not allowed to direct somebody off of Etsy to complete a purchase in order to skirt their fees.
Exactly. Yes. So they do have wording around that. Before we started this, we combed through their policies as much as possible. So can anybody say they're 100% sure on Etsy and their policies about most topics? Getting to that 100% is difficult on a lot of their topics. I would not bring this out if I thought that there was an issue with this, to be quite frank, because not only would it affect you guys, but it would affect AnywherePOD as well, right? Now, obviously, there's nothing in their policies that says, yes, you can do this exact same thing. There's nothing that says you can't. That is also why we made it very easy. If you go to this page, there is absolutely nowhere else you can go from here except back to Etsy. When you hit next and you continue on and it goes back, it's going to take you right back to that Etsy listing. So there's nowhere else they can go, nothing else to purchase here or anything. We did have several customers reach out to Etsy customer support, asking them, kind of explaining what they wanted to do, just kind of as an Etsy user, asking support if that was okay. And really the only responses we got back were kind of a generic, well, the link won't be clickable in the personalization instructions. Etsy never says, yeah, sure, go for it. That's completely fine. If you ever reach out, I mean, we all know lots of Shine On jewelry that's not compliant. To this day, if you reach out to Shine On and say, hey, is this product compliant? They're not going to tell you no. They're going to say, well, here's a link to our policies. Go read them. Mm-hmm. That is not the response we got. The response we got was really the only feedback they gave is that the link would not be clickable. So we did as much checking on this as possible to make sure that it was as safe as possible and developed in a way to protect everybody as much as possible as well.
Russ is saying, for the products themselves, is APOD creating the product templates, or can you create your own for any product?
Yes. Hey, Russ, glad you were able to join. Hopefully some people will hear some more about Russ down the road. But yes, you have both options. So for a lot of products, the live preview is already created by AnywherePOD. But if you want to create your own template for whatever product to match whatever you want, like I said, specific mockup, you want to add badges to it, whatever you want to do, you can create your own templates that are just unique to you and your store as well.
Amazing. Don Ray, I find that the guides when you're importing the artwork is extremely hard to see. Can anything be done with this?
Potentially, I guess if you could send into support specifically which products you're having more of an issue with, it's kind of a fine line for us. So he's talking about kind of artwork guidelines for, say, coffee mugs, so you can see where the center lines are. We have those in there as overlays, and sometimes depending on your artwork, they can be a little bit harder to see. The trouble is it really kind of depends on how the template was, originally created from the vendor, what color your artwork is. Like, there's several things that kind of factor into it. But if there's one that you're having a specific issue with, if you can reach out to our support, we'd be happy to take a closer look at it for you.
Linda asking, so within Canva and Etsy, are you creating a template through the app in APOD?
Not 100% sure. You could be kind of referencing a couple different things here. So if I don't completely answer your question, feel free to post it again, maybe with a little more detail. But on the design side, you're going to design in Canva either by, creating your initial canvas size yourself based on the product, or using that create new design link or button that's in AnywherePOD that'll create that for you. And then when you create the product in AnywherePOD, you just import that design that you created. You can import that directly from Canva. The live preview templates themselves are kind of separate from the whole Canva integration. That is set up separately using, whatever background images and that sort of thing. And then that kind of ties it all together there. So those are kind of two separate things. So that's why I'm not sure when you're saying Canva in the template. So if I didn't answer your question, clarify a little more, and we can circle back to
that. Jill's saying, and this kind of ties into Russ's, I think, what can we use as our own template for a live preview if creating your own, I assume, just a blank mockup?
Yeah, essentially. So I know we have some live streams where we have covered this, but it's very similar to the kind of mockup template process. So you just upload it. Changes a little bit per product. So it depends a little bit. If it's like a full sublimated where it's a, specific shape or something like that, it's a little bit different. But essentially you just upload a background, optionally upload a mask over the top if it's a product that the design needs to be a specific size. And then you just place the artwork where it needs to go. And it's set up not only for that product, but then any in the future. So once you create one of these, then anything you create in the future using that product will can utilize that same template. So
nice. Linda wants to confirm here. So when the listing is purchased on Etsy, does that mean that the personalization will show up on the order?
So it will when it comes into AnywherePOD. So they will place the order here. AnywherePOD, based on the information they put here, will generate all of the artwork with all of their personalization settings and everything filled out, whether it's text or the clip art or images that they upload. All of that AnywherePOD will generate the kind of production ready artwork for you all automatically.
And I think it might take you might have to do, again, I'll suggest that creating a video that way for your customer, right? It'll be a little bit of an education piece potentially, but yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want. And it's going to be a matter of time before people just expect that you can do this with Etsy now.
Right, exactly.
Haley's saying, so you can have the background removed and then put into the frame?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Is there a way to hyperlink the URL for the customer to go to the live preview? Again, I think you might be able to do that if in your customer confirmation, the thank you message. I'm not sure. We'll have to test that. I know Etsy says that they weren't going to.
Those are, so the link you have here is listing specific. So I'm not sure if it'd work there, but unfortunately on the personalization instructions here right now, Etsy does not have a way to allow you to link there. So hopefully in the future, they add some capability to do that. But right now they do not, unfortunately.
Yes, forgot about that. That would be definitely or listing specific, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Not everyone alive was born using a phone or computer, so an explanation in a video would be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Jay's idea there of doing that could be cool way to do that for sure.
Okay, QR code is brilliant.
Yes.
To take them to each one. Yeah. So it'd be unique to that specific listing.
Have that as a listing image. You could have it branded, with your logo and stuff. Just have that be one of your images that is shown here with a little, scan QR code to upload your personalization before you purchase. I really like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart, right? And it's unique to that specific listing.
Right.
Brittany, is there an example video for how customers use the AI personalization? It would be nice to have a link available for those who need help.
Yeah. So actually, if you watch our live stream last week, we went through that in pretty good detail. I can probably pull up an example here as we're answering some questions as well and kind of show you what that looks like with this Etsy preview as well.
Gonna flag a couple more here.
Yeah, here is one. While you grab the next question here, we can answer some questions while this is loading. But so this is one with a prompt that's already been saved. It's kind of the example that we went through last time. So when the customer uploads their image here, it is, let me find one here. It is going to automatically upload that and apply the prompt, do any kind of upscaling or anything like that you set on that image to be performed. And it's just going to go ahead and create that for the customer here.
Another good question from Bridget is there, if the user is having a problem, is there a way for us to intervene? And then I guess a secondary question on that would be like, if they screwed up, is there a way to intervene? I think, I love that the onus is on the customer this way. So A, it's not going to be your fault, but B, I think that comes down to having the automation set up for fulfillment on that end too, right? To give yourself the chance to pause.
Right. Yeah. So it will. And so, you can also put additional instructions to the customer that if you have any issues, maybe, I don't know if you'd put it in your personalization instructions or your description, but you can always tell them to either use the link or complete checkout and send us the images via Etsy message if you still want to kind of do a combination of both ways. If you do that, when the order comes in, it's just going to automatically put it on hold until you go in and upload the customer's images, kind of like it does now. So that is an option to kind of do a combination of both of those too.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice you already have that baked in.
Yeah.
Nama, if I'm pronouncing correctly, will I be able to review and make adjustments if needed after the client completes their personalization and approves it, but before it goes to production?
Yep, absolutely. So when you create a product in AnywherePOD, you have the option here at the top on whether or not you want it to auto fulfill or not. By default, if you have any personalization, it's going to set auto fulfillment to no, because most of the time people like to review their orders at least the first few until they're comfortable that you have everything set up and everything's kind of flowing through correctly, and then you can turn it on at any time. But with that set to no, any order that comes in will still build the artwork and that whole side of things, but the order will go on hold until you review and kind of approve it and release that hold.
Kind of idiot proof almost at this point, right? Like that's the whole goal, I guess.
Right.
Russ is saying, any chance of being able to use a custom domain for the personalization link in the future? Awesome idea.
That is an interesting idea. Potentially. So my kind of main concern with doing that out of the gate is then it makes it a lot easier for you to break Etsy's rules. So if you're using a custom domain that then, ends up redirecting them somewhere else or something like that, now we're getting in that dicey territory of not complying with Etsy's rules, which not only affects your shop, but can affect AnywherePOD and everybody else that is kind of using it. So if we did, we would need some safeguards around that if we ever did consider that. So I'm not sure if we would do that or not, honestly.
Yeah, that's something you wouldn't want to be liable for either way, right? So yeah, exactly. I would agree with that for sure. Kristen is asking, are the font options pre-selected for the design, or do they select from lists of fonts in APOD because it's a long list? I can see people getting the paradox of font choice. Yeah, analysis paralysis is real.
Yep. So right now you select the font that matches your design. We are looking at options where you can add a small subset of fonts. So if you want to give them the choice between 3 or 4 fonts or something like that, that's something that's going to be coming in the future. But right now, just like you see here on this one, this was the AI example I was pulling up. It's just the font that is preset. So it's whatever I have set on the design is what's going to show up for the customer when they put in their text.
Awesome. And this is our last question of the day, and there haven't been any for a little while now. So I love it when this happens, only because not that the call, soon to be ending, but it's also just a testament to how much information you've put out there and all the, the valuable information that you've kind of given everybody, right? So Mike is saying, when we upload our own mockups into APOD, is there a place to see these mockups in the My Artwork section so we can delete if necessary?
So they will not show up in the My Artwork section. We are going to be adding some more functionality around the whole select mockup screen. So that if you do, upload or have one that's created or whatever, and you want to just completely remove that from the listing instead of just deselecting it. Right now, you would just deselect it before you publish to Etsy. But if you want to completely remove that, we will be adding some functionality where you can more easily be able to remove those.
Awesome. And that's everything. So if you guys have another question or two you want to drop in there, go for it while we kind of
Yeah,
wrap up
absolutely.
here.
So
I don't think we missed anything.
last call for questions. I think we covered a lot. Had a good group here. I'm excited with the number that we had here. I hope you guys found this useful. Please feel free, go check it out. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to our support. We will be doing another live stream next week, kind of covering Q&A and any questions and kind of recapping, because we've had now 3 weeks in a row of enough features to launch a whole new platform on, right? So we'll be answering any questions next week. So if you get in, play with this for a week, feel free to bring those questions with you next week. We'll definitely be running through probably some more examples, answering any questions, and running. So any questions at all next week, feel free to bring them. We're happy to be able to help. So,
and just to cap that off, I'm just grateful that you were allowing me to stream this live as well as exclusive that way. That's pretty sweet. And for those of you who don't know, Chris and his generosity doesn't end there. He has already given us 3 full 1-year subscriptions to that we gave away on. You can see the previous live before this for members of my inner circle. So just again, humbled and grateful for all of that massive gifts. So, and I just wanted to say that next week we're going to be going live also on my channel with Hannah from Profit Tree. So it's a way to stay on top of your finances and stuff like that. So it's a great, a great opportunity there with more giveaways, of course.
Yeah, but, awesome. Yeah, no, we were happy to do that. It's been great to kind of connect with you some more, Jay, and thanks for coming on today. Kind of help me manage the comment section a little bit more. That was great having somebody else on there to help out. So I appreciate you jumping on and doing that.
No problem. I think people are more missing Anna than rather seeing me out here, but it is what it is, and we miss you too, Anna. So for next time, this is kind of the epitome now, right? Great class. I'm glad Etsy can now enjoy the benefits of Shopify had. So everybody can kind of click the thumbs up. Absolutely. Please share with somebody who is going to benefit from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
Perfect. Awesome, guys. Well, I don't see any more questions. So thanks again, everybody, for joining. Again, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, and we'll see everybody next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.